Kevin Harvick wins and shakes up everything. Let's get into it. Coming up next. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good this Monday. All right, after 2 years and some change, 65 plus races, Kevin Harvick goes to victory lane. He had to listen to all of it from the outside, and when he got out of the car, he addressed that. He said the people that didn't believe in us haven't been watching, or something to that effect, but he definitely has shaken up the playoffs with this win in Michigan, and he had speed all day, but once they got that Rodney Childress crew chief car out in front, Kevin Harvick set sail. He opened up a 4-second lead on the rest of the field. Of course, Bubba Wallace was held up by Joey Logano, which helped that out a little bit. But even once he got past Joey Logano, he didn't really close that gap a whole lot. So Kevin Harvick goes to victory lane and completely shakes up the playoff picture. This also moved him up to number 10 on the all-time wins list in NASCAR. So a lot of big things here, but a great win for Kevin Harvick. Shook it up. A lot of people didn't see this coming. However, if you did watch my pre-race, I said by the numbers, Kevin Harvick should absolutely be your favorite to win this race. I picked Ryan Blaney, but I did pick a Ford. And that is another thing I wanted to bring up here. This is a Ford track. Ford has won 8 in a row here. And I said, until I see a Ford get beat, I'm picking a Ford here. Although I did say if a Toyota wins, it would probably be, Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch. But I didn't see Bubba Wallace having the speed he had today. But that being said, let's look at your top 10 because there were a lot of good runs in this race. Kevin Harvick, of course, gets your win, which is very interesting because Stewart-Haas with Chase Briscoe won Phoenix. So if Kevin Harvick or Chase Briscoe can get to the Final Four, that will be interesting because, as I said, Stewart-Haas with Chase Briscoe won Phoenix. Bubba Wallace finishes second. That is 4 straight top 10s for Bubba Wallace. And of note, those 4 top 10s have come since he has gotten Kurt Busch's pit crew. So the pit crew clearly was holding him back. Denny Hamlin finishes third. A good strong run for Joey Logano in fourth. Ryan Blaney in fifth. Martin Truex Jr. in sixth. What's important there is Ryan Blaney got that point away from Martin Truex. Martin Truex had passed him. Of course, Ryan Blaney being the last man in on points, but can't possibly feel good. Kyle Larson finishes seventh. Gotta hate that run for him because he had speed to win the race, but the mistake on pit road cost him. Eric Jones finishes eighth. Good run for Eric Jones and the Petty GMS gang. Alex Bowman with a ninth place finish. Good run for him. Ty Gibbs finishes 10th. Great run for him. He is improving every week in that 45, making his case to be called up to the Cup Series. And Chase Elliott and William Byron finish 11th and 12th. And also of note, of course, Austin Hill finished 18th in his first ever Cup Series start. So not a bad finish for Austin Hill. Pretty much did the exact same thing in his first Cup start that Ty Gibbs did. So Austin Hill is off to a good start in his Cup Series career. All right, those were the guys that had good races. Let's take a look at some of the guys who had bad races. And let's look right here at 24th, 25th, and 26th. Christopher Bell, of course, tried to block Ross Chastain late in the race. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez had just gotten tires on that pit cycle, so they were a lap down. And when Christopher Bell threw that inconceivably bad block, I don't know. I don't even know what he was thinking, but it was a bad block. It was a late block. He wrecks himself, takes himself out of the race, but he also traps Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez a lap down, which pretty much ruined their day. Daniel Suarez cut a tire down late in the race as well. A lot of Bubba Wallace fans wanted a caution there, but of course, as always, like I said, NASCAR is whatever with cautions. You never can predict what they're going to do with them. But for all the conspiracy theorists, I guess, they didn't throw the caution for Bubba Wallace. So like I said, NASCAR is just inconsistent with cautions. You can never actually pin them down on having an agenda, to be totally honest. They're just so inconsistent with cautions. I personally don't think it should have been a caution, but it is what it is. Tyler Reddick finishes 29th. Bad race for him. He had race-winning speed. Definitely was up there. He was going to lead some laps and be a contender for the win, but his engine soured. Noah Gragson, he finishes 30th, but he was up there running well with everybody else. In his first time, he's run really good in the Cup Series, in my opinion. So he ran really good there. A shame that he got into the wall. Ty Gibbs got into the wall too, but wasn't as bad as Noah Gragson. But Noah Gragson was running good, but ends up finishing 30th, so bad race for him. And it was also a bad race for Martin Truex. He is now on the outside looking in. And also, even though he's still in the playoffs on points, Ryan Blaney, it was a bad race for him. And just to elaborate on that, let's take a look at the points right now, because if anybody else wins, the man who is second place in points, and Martin Truex, already out, fourth place in points, will not make the playoffs. But let's take a look at the playoffs as it stands now. So you got Chase Elliott, obviously, with a massive lead. He has 2040. Ross Chastain will be second closest with 2022. Then you got Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Daniel Suarez. And here is where it gets interesting, because Austin Cindric and Alex Bowman, if two more drivers win, one of those drivers would be bumped out of the playoffs. And it is on that note that I hope that at least two more drivers win, because I want absolute chaos. I want this playoff to be an absolute chaotic disaster so that hopefully NASCAR gets rid of it. They never will. I'm just dreaming the dream. But hopefully this is just a terrible, terrible turnout for the playoffs. But this might be what NASCAR wants. Who knows? But I'm hoping that the second place or fourth place man in points doesn't make the playoffs, and that NASCAR has to at least look at it and change it for the better or do something, because it's just ridiculous. It is what it is. I don't like the playoffs. And ending on another bummer, this actually happened when I was in Hickory, and I think I've addressed it on a live stream, but I didn't actually know the full story behind it. But Bobby East, we lost him. He was at a gas station filling up his car, and a guy with a rap sheet and a warrant out came up to him. They got into an argument. He stabbed Bobby East in the chest. Bobby East was rushed to the hospital. He did not make it. And the other guy was ended in a shootout with the police. So I'm not going to even mention the other guy's name, because I think that's part of the problem. So I'm not going to mention his name. But we lost Bobby East, 2012 Silver Crown champion, 2004 USAC Driver of the Year. Lost him too soon. He was 37 years of age. I did not know that full story. I just knew he had passed away. I thought he had just gotten in a car wreck or something like that, to be totally honest. But then somebody mentioned that I hadn't said anything about it, and I was like, oh, well, there must be more to the story to it. And this is that story, unfortunately. Very sad. Anytime anybody passes, but especially under these circumstances, makes it even worse. So prayers and condolences go out to the East family. And once again, we're ending on another bummer, which I hate to do, but I did want to cover that because I was unaware of the full details of it. All right, that is all I've got for you today. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe down below. If you got a question or comment, leave it down in the comment section. I try to get to as many of them as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.